The internet is full of car reviews for cars worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. This is not one of them. This is a Vauxhall Corsa Sri 1.2 litre facelifted example, and it's lovely. It's also available for just shy of £10,000, which means if you've just started your car driving journey and you've gotten your hands on that precious license, or you maybe just want to change into something a little bit different, this could be the car for you. So let's have a little look around this Corsa. Well, first of all, as I mentioned, this has been facelifted. It's nice, it's new, and it has a lovely smiley face, but not too smiley, because SRI are traditionally the slightly more sporty end of the Vauxhall lineup. And this is just aggressive enough with the additional kind of pointy aero at the front that sits nicely alongside the Griffin badge. The Griffin badge, incidentally, has been part of Vauxhall since 1915, when a lucky designer got paid 2 guineas for winning a competition, suggesting the Griffin sits at the front of Vauxhall. Adaptive LED headlights and fog lights for when it gets foggy. And then as you head back throughout this Corsa, you've got the lovely SRI two-tone. So you've got black matte gloss finish on the roof, the pillars, the A-frames, the B-frames and the C-frames, and that actually gives it a nice silhouette as you're driving along, makes it look that little bit more aerodynamic. It sits on 4 17-inch alloy wheels, black smoky effect. You only get them with the SRI. It will set you aside from your neighbours. Now let's have a look at the back of the Corsa. Around the back of the Corsa and you get a boot. Yes, you do. Now it's got a nice big hatch, so it's fairly easy to get things in and out. We've got a medium size and a large suitcase in here relatively easily. 309 litres of space is what you get in the back here with the seats up. It's not the biggest in class, but it's pretty close, which is handy. And look, suitcases almost match the colour of the car, which is, well, frankly, quite pleasing. Easy to close the boot lid because it is a small, light car. And whilst you get some bells, you don't get all the whistles with a Corsa. So this one, for example, doesn't have reversing cameras, but it does come with parking sensors, making squeezing it into those little spaces in the city rather easy. Looking to buy your next car? At Big Motoring World, we have thousands, yes, thousands of cars across our forecourts because we're big on choice and we're big on what matters to you. Now, if you're looking to sell your car, we will give you a 7-day guaranteed valuation if you sell the car to bigwantsyourcar.com. This means when you send us a picture of your car, we don't chip you down on price like some others. And with no admin fees and instant bank transfers, you get the money straight away. Cha-ching! And did I mention that we also pick up your car free of charge? Now the inside of this Corsa is jam-packed full of tech, and I'm very, very genuinely excited to share it with you. So I'm going to start with the steering wheel. So you've got an adaptive steering wheel, and you can control your volume, your cruise control from here as well, but it has a heated steering wheel. Yeah, in a car that's sub 10 grand, you've got a button to warm up your hands at winter time, and that is so good, I can't even tell you. I might be showing my age a little bit, that's what I get excited about, but here we are. Light switches, so you get automatic lights in this Corsa as well, which is fantastic. In front of you, your instrument display is digital. If I'm honest, it's a little bit busy, but I think once you've driven it around a little bit, it will become less busy looking. You'll start to get used to it quite quickly. And then as you head into the center console, I'm going to start on the roof. So you've got SOS button here, so if something were to happen to you and you were unfortunate enough to end up in an accident, you press that button and it goes straight through to the emergency services. That's a wonderful, wonderful option. Touch screen infotainment system. There's a lot on there. And it's okay. It can be a little bit laggy, but on the other hand, it does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. These things used to only be available for so many thousands of pounds as an option on the most luxurious and premium cars. Now you're getting it in your Vauxhall Corsa, and that is so positive, I can't even begin to tell you. So you can use the built-in nav if you want to, but why would you bother, if I'm honest? If you've got Google or Waze or whatever, to guide you on your path, then you might as well do that. And obviously you've got Bluetooth and all the other things, so you can make phone calls, receive phone calls in the car as you please. Climate control, it's all real buttons, you'll be glad to hear, all powered through this little console down the bottom. Fairly standard. Heated seats. I mean, it's got everything you need in this little Corsa, it really does. USB charger down the bottom here, and then you've got a bit of a hark back to the old school Corsas. You've got your shark hidden down here in the little things bin down by your leg. The old Corsas used to have the shark kind of hidden around, it was in the glove compartment and what have you, and now we've got one down here. That's a really nice touch. Some more buttons, so turning off your lane assist, putting the car into sport, and turning off your automatic stop start. So if you're parked at traffic, take it out of gear and it will turn the engine off. Talking of gear, this is a 6-speed manual. Fine, it's fine. It's a 99 brake horsepower car, so you probably do want to keep it higher up the revs just to kind of get the power going, so that's not a bad thing. You've got an electronic handbrake that automatically comes on when you turn the car off, but I think most cars nowadays of a certain age will have that, and that's no problem at all. Cup holders in the middle, which are underneath this central armrest. Now, I do have a bit of an issue with the armrest. It's comfortable, but you've got to slide it back to get to it, and then it kind of, I don't know, it just feels a little bit weird. I mean, it's not the biggest issue in the world, but it just doesn't feel entirely right. But inside, you've got quite a deep bin for whatever you want. And obviously, as you're driving, you're sitting in a seat. The seats are sporty-ish feeling. I mean, you're going to get that trim with the SRI, but it doesn't, I don't know, they don't feel the most comfortable. They're also not the worst by quite a long distance. I do like how it has contrasting trim, so red and black in this SRI. While we're looking at the dashboard, just something I want to draw your attention to. There's like this snake skin type of effect across the entire length of the top of the dashboard, and it changes and refracts with the light, giving a different view depending on where you're sat. I mean, it doesn't feel massively cheap or nasty. It's kind of a bit leathery. It kind of even feels a little bit like snakeskin. It's a nice addition because it makes the car feel a little bit different. Maybe it's meant to be shark skin as part of the general Corsa shark theme. Who knows? But either way, it's quite nice. Look out for it if you are in an SRI Corsa. Now, if you've got this car, it's got back doors. There's a fairly strong chance you're going to have people sitting in the back row of seats, so let's have a look at that back row. Now, this SRI has been given 2 back doors, which does make it much easier to get in and out of what is ultimately quite a small car. Now, the driving seat is in front of me, and in my driving position, I'm about 5'8", and do you know what? I've got a fair amount of headroom. My knees are kind of touching the back of the seat, but fundamentally, there's perfectly enough room to get ferried around in here, which is good news. You've got ISOFIX, of course, along the entire back bench, and you do have a middle seat. So 3 humans could, in theory, sit in the back here. If you've got 3 members of a rugby team, on the other hand, they might be a little bit hard pressed to get in the back. But there is plenty of room to both put a child seat in here and then put said child into the seat with the door open, because the doors do open relatively wide. So the Vauxhall Corsa, a sub £10,000 car that looks just as good in the office car park as it does driving you around some exciting B roads. And remember, no matter what you go for, at Big Motoring World, we're big on choice and we're big on what matters to you.